Day 59, everybody. We have sown our oats, as it were, at Fast Eddie's last night. We got, I don't know, maybe some of the need for civilization out of us. We're planning to go out into the wild. Today we hit the lower river, at least by my estimation, not by the Coast Guards. They require us to get to Cairo before we actually call it the lower river, but I call it starting at Lock 26, which is about a mile and a half from the marina where we sit. But I want to call this to your attention in case you're ever up here driving in the Alton, Illinois area. People drive hard here. Be prepared for what might come. You gotta lay it down when you when you come around Alton, because people ain't playing. They're gonna drive. We're setting it up, guys. We're hitting the lower river. We're gonna get some flow, and we might be out in the sticks. This might mark a spot where our uploads start becoming a little spottier. I'm not sure what connectivity is going to be like moving forward. We will continue to collect footage and throw it up when we're able. But yeah, we might get a little behind. We're currently running like a 4-day release delay, so we've got a little buffer, but we might fall a little short of that. We're getting out into the big river. I don't know how to say that anymore without rambling further, but wish us well. We'll see you on the other side. There's a light on the horizon emanating from the bayou. It shouldn't be so surprising. Gotta get there before I come home to you. Day 59, we are getting underway, just leaving the Alton Marina. Found another marina that's been very good to us. They were generous and let us just stay gratis. And a nice breakfast at the diner on the way out. Got the fuel dock here. Nice little boat. And oh, that's the Kokomo. I say little boat, and I'm facetious at that. There's some big fellas here. Apparently, this is a big stop for folks doing the Great Loop. So, yeah, we're seeing some boats capable of that sort of thing.
Their yellow flag up there shows the Great Loop.
Oh, I see. I got you. AGLCA. That's got a
Great Loop something Association.
Okay, American Great Loop something Association. Sure,
Association of Great Loop something of America.
Okay, all right. It's something like that. Maybe that yellow flag. Oh, and there's a bunch of them. There's one. Yeah, they're all over. Okay, so Great Loopers. We're getting underway. The lock is coming up right away, so we'll get back to you then, and we'll see what the unofficial, but by my standards, lower river starts to look like after that. Day 59, just on the water, 20-30 minutes. We are approaching Lock 26. It looks a little different on the approach than what we're used to. It appears there's 2 active locks. We're not sure. One has an extended approach, like for a full barge array. It might be a longer lock here. We're not sure, and we're not even sure where to go. But we'll find out when we get up a little closer, and that's what'll happen. There you go. Just something a little different here. Lock 26, day 59. Day 59, locking through our final dam. This is lock 26. We were just having an off-camera conversation about vital equipment being mentioned for a lot of paddle expeditions on this trip, including a VHF radio to be in contact with tows and or locks. And we were of the opinion that we didn't need one, and turns out we didn't, but it was an inconvenience not having one. The pull chains here at Lock 26 are evidently ineffective, and that's a known thing. by the crew here at the lock. They were like, "Oh yeah, they don't work." We tried there, and there's two of them. There's a chamber 4 that looks like a smaller lock, and this is a full 1,200-foot lock, big size, like number 19 there at Keokuk. So, yeah, well, anyway, a whole barge can come through without splitting itself up and reconstructing on the back end. Anyway, we got through it. There's no traffic here. We're the only ones. It's just we had trouble getting in touch with the guys, and even answering the phone was a trick. A third try or a fourth, or one or the other. Jamie was heading up that project because my cell phone is actually packed away, so he's been in charge with communication with the outside world while we're out on the river. That finally got in touch with the crew here, and they said, "Oh yeah, the gate's open, just come on in." So we did, and here we are, locking through a big one, and it's a big one for more than one reason. It's large and it's momentous, and this is our last one. We got one more a couple big things today, actually. I mean, the chain of rocks we're gonna see just a couple, 3, 5, 8, 13 miles down the river. I'm not even sure, it's some distance. It'll be after we see the confluence of the Missouri, then chain of rocks, which we'll have to portage, and then we'll go by the St. Louis waterfront. If everything goes to plan, that'll all happen within the next 6-7 hours. It's just past noon. And then we'll be out on a sandbar downstream of St. Louis for tonight's campsite. That's the plan. So we'll see if it all comes together. I guess that's 3 pretty big things. A big river, chain of rocks, which we have yet to see personally, and I'm a little excited and trepidatious about. It's just something different and new, but it should be something to behold, quite frankly. And then going by the waterfront in St. Louis and getting onto what I call the lower river.
Okay, thank you.
Just got the word there's a small craft coming in to share the chamber with us. We'll scoot over to make a little room because it's getting a little cramped in here. But we'll suck in our guts and see if we can squeeze somebody else in. Okay, guys, this is a long little clip, but a lot going on right now because it's exciting what the day holds. We'll share it with you when we come to it. One more bit to share here in Lock 26 as we descend with the constant sea ahead. Pretty boat. Listen to the audio. This sounds like a sound effect from a Stanley Kubrick movie or something. Yeah, just dissonant kind of squeals, some far higher pitched and some lower. It's haunting in here. It's really quite cool as we approach Halloween here, third of the way through December, through October. Release the Kraken. Day 59. Exiting Lock 26. The process was a little longer locking through. I guess the bigger volume takes a little longer to evacuate, and we did about 20 or 25 feet, not quite sure, but it was a significant drop compared to most. That is the last of our locks, unless we do a last-minute decision and decide not to portage chain of rocks and take the canal. But that is our current intention, and it's coming up pretty soon. I mean, as far as today. Quite industrial here. We're suddenly on, it's not technically the lower river until we pass Cairo and the confluence of the Ohio joins the waters of the Mississippi. But this is the lower river to me in many ways, and it just looks different. We got a couple dry docks here. They're doing some maintenance work on tows. We got some big stuff staged, ready to come up, and there was somebody loading up just as we exited. So, I mean, it's an active industrial part of the river, and that's what we're going to see the rest of the way. Far less pleasure craft is and more commercial. So here we go. We're in the thick of it. Day 59. Which one of these is not like the other? Which one of these just doesn't belong? Which one of these is not like the other? Hope you can tell me at the end of this song. Chain of Rocks here. Day 59. I got out a little earlier just to be safe in order to scout a portage path. I think we can take out a little further down. You just can't see from the upriver side till you get some elevation what you're coming up on. You hear the roar of it, and then you're not sure where it is. We thought we could come up to this metal installment here, but that's really the brink. So, I mean, it's pretty slack water, but I think that this is the spot we take out like right here, just past that little runoff area where it's cut in the beach is about this one, I think. And the parking lot up here, we'll figure the rest of it out. This is our takeout right here. Moving on to do it now. There's a little path from where people have probably done the same thing that I've just done, just to get a sense of what's what. But feeling better about it now. Heading back to Jamie. You see him there on the riverside. Thought it was a nice sandy beach, but it's quite muddy. Soiled my boots, but that's part of being a riverman. Here we go. We're going to sort this thing out, and we'll show you more of the chain of rocks from the other side after we get over there. Day 59. This is fairly primal display of the power of the Mississippi River right here, just flowing over. A drop in the river. Jamie had thought that it was about a 6-foot drop, and that looks about right, eyeballing it from here. In higher water, I understand this is passable. In fact, steamboats used to pass it in very high water before any of the locks were put in. Now it's all just a canal that they can do it any time of year. But there's these bizarre houses out on piers, and I don't know if they serve a specific purpose or they're decorative. I expect they had a purpose, but I don't know how one would get to them. To what degree these were occupied full time? Maybe somebody lived there for a week or something. I don't know what these are. But it could have been some manner of warning system that they could set up some kind of signal light. But, I mean, why not just have a lighthouse? I don't know what these are. They're odd. They're castle constructed type things on top of big bridge piers, essentially. But this is Chain of Rocks. It's going to be kind of a pain in the ass to portage this. We've got 300 yards-ish. Maybe not that much, 200, but not necessarily easy. It's going to be downhill over here, and yeah, it's going to be an odd portage. Quite populated, a lot of fisher folk, and clearly easily accessible by road. Never been here. I kind of wish we'd driven out here at some point. I didn't know you could just drive out here. I don't know how you do it either, because this is an island that's cut off by the canal. So I guess there's just a little bridge over the canal at some point. There's bridges across the river that include the canal, but probably back from the Alton side. This is the Illinois side. There's probably a little smaller bridge that comes across to here. But here we are. It's kind of breathtaking, but we got to get moving. So I'm going to start moving stuff. There you have it, day 59. One last video, Chain of Rocks. Pretty amazing. Got a little light left. We got our stuff ported down, canoes up the beach. We're going to bring it down, load it up, and get a few more miles in. We'll get back in touch when we make camp. This is Mississippi. I don't know to what degree chain of rocks is unchanged from its natural form. It might have been shorn up by the Corps of Engineers. I honestly, I don't have any idea. I know it exists in nature. This is the Mississippi River. Triumphantly, y'all. Day 59, folks. You're seeing a whole lot of the chain of rocks, and that's because we are too. We had plenty more daylight to get more miles when we did this portage, but we might have gotten stuck out on the St. Louis riverfront with not any good camping or takeout options, and instead of push to that and get a few more miles and maybe find ourselves in a compromised position, here at this site is a big, nice, I mean, it's littered, but it's a nice, flat, natural space with not a whole lot of undergrowth. There's some trails coming through here, so it won't be totally private, but we're planning to camp. We've just moved our stuff up top here, and I've already cleared a tent pad over here of sticks. I just swept it with a stick to get some of the bigger sticks out of the way, but that's going to be my pad right here between these three trees, basically. I think we're going to be in a good place to get well past St. Louis tomorrow, and better than, geez, you just never know in a city like that if there's going to be an opportunity to have a nice takeout. It might just be awful, and we get stuck out after dark and in an industrial area and not knowing exactly what to do with that problem. So we solved it by using some caution and taking out plenty early tonight. We're actually an Uber ride away from civilization, or we're 2.8 miles from a Walmart. We could walk, and we might. It's not yet sunset. It's still fairly early. The only issue would be actually leaving our gear here, and probably would take electronics and just risk the other gear, but we'll figure that out. And in any case, we'll be starting here tomorrow morning, and hopefully be able to get an early start and get some miles well past St. Louis. The river is different and exciting for us now. We'll see where it can take us. Hang with us, folks. This might be the wrap up unless something cool happens outside of camp here. And we're close to Alton, where we stayed last night, honestly. But here we go, day 59. Let's call it a wrap, basically, unless we don't. Till tomorrow. Day 59, folks. We split ways. Jamie wasn't too keen on leaving stuff unattended there in that makeshift campsite, and I can't say I blame him for that. I don't think he was that interested in going into town, whereas I consider this my last opportunity at civilization for a little bit, so I'm walking in. Feels like the right call to me. I didn't want to cook. I didn't want ramen noodles. I didn't want any nonsense. I'm gonna go to town. It's not that long a walk, so that's what I'm doing. Day 59, walking to town. Day 59, we're calling this a wrap. So went out to a bar thinking I'd just grab a burger and watch the Mariners game. It went into extra innings. This is game 5 of the ALDS between the Mariners and Detroit. I'm a Mariners fan, for those of you that don't know that, and I'm guessing that's all of you, or practically. It went 15 innings, so it's practically 1 o'clock. I've just gotten back. I had no intention of staying out this late, but the Mariners advanced and are going to the ALCS. It's been a long time since we've won a playoff series, so I say we as if I'm part of the team, but those are my boys, the Mariners. They're looking good. You got to face that buzzsaw that Toronto's got coming up starting Sunday. This is Friday, day 59. So day 61, I'll be trying to get away to pay attention to the game again. But there we go. Go M's. Made it through the night. Wrapping up day 59. Late night. I'll sleep in a little later than I had intended. But the M's are moving on. Loving life. Real life gets in the way of the river sometimes. Catch you in the morning for day 60. We'll get some miles.